Are you staring at that Apply Now button, wondering if clicking it is going to send your credit score spiraling into the abyss? You're not alone. We've all been there, that moment when an unexpected expense hits and you're scrambling for a quick financial fix. CashNetUSA, with its promises of fast cash, seems like a lifeline. But then, that nagging question creeps in, will this mess up my credit? Let's be real, credit scores are like that awkward high school photo. They haunt you for years. And in today's world, a good credit score is your golden ticket. It unlocks better interest rates, loan approvals, and even rental opportunities. So, the fear of damaging it is totally understandable. Think of it this way. Your credit score is a delicate ecosystem. Every financial decision you make is like introducing a new species. Some species are beneficial, some are neutral, and some are invasive and wreak havoc. We need to figure out if CashNetUSA is a helpful little ladybug or a credit-destroying locust swarm. Now, before we dive into the nitty-gritty, let's establish some context. CashNetUSA is a lender that offers payday loans, installment loans, and lines of credit. These types of loans are typically short-term and come with higher interest rates compared to traditional bank loans. They're designed for people who need quick access to cash, often in emergency situations. Why the higher rates? Because these lenders are taking on more risk. They're lending to individuals who may have less than perfect credit or limited credit history. And that brings us back to our central question. How does this risk translate to your credit score? To understand this, we need to break down how credit scores work. The most common credit scoring model is the FICO score, which takes into account several factors: payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, new credit, and credit mix. Payment history is king. It's the biggest factor, accounting for 35% of your FICO score. Missed payments, late payments, and defaults can significantly damage your credit score. Amounts owed, also known as credit utilization, accounts for 30%. This is the ratio of your outstanding debt to your total credit limit. Maxing out credit cards or having a high balance on a line of credit can hurt your score. Length of credit history, new credit, and credit mix make up the remaining 35%. They consider how long you've had credit accounts, how often you're applying for new credit, and the variety of credit types you have. Now, let's bring CashNetUSA back into the picture. Here's where things get interesting. CashNetUSA, like many online lenders, may or may not perform a hard credit inquiry when you apply. A hard inquiry, also known as a hard pull, occurs when a lender checks your credit report to make a lending decision. Too many hard inquiries in a short period can temporarily lower your credit score. However, many of these lenders use alternative data and soft inquiries. Soft inquiries, like when you check your own credit or when a lender pre-approves you, don't affect your score. So, the first question to ask is, does CashNetUSA perform a hard inquiry? The answer is, it depends. They may perform a hard inquiry, especially for installment loans or lines of credit, but for payday loans, they often rely on other factors. Here's the kicker. Even if they don't do a hard inquiry, the loan itself can still impact your credit. How? Through your payment history. If you miss a payment or default on the loan, CashNetUSA may report this to credit bureaus. This negative information can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years, significantly damaging your score. And here's another potential pitfall: the high interest rates associated with these loans. If you're struggling to repay the loan, you might find yourself trapped in a cycle of debt, taking out new loans to cover the old ones. This can lead to increased credit utilization and even more missed payments, further damaging your credit. Let's talk about those high interest rates for a moment. They are no joke. A typical payday loan can have an APR, annual percentage rate, in the triple digits. That means you could end up paying significantly more in interest than the original loan amount. This can make it incredibly difficult to escape the debt cycle and can negatively impact your overall financial health. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I'll pay it back on time. I'm responsible. That's great. But life happens. Unexpected expenses arise, job losses occur, and suddenly, that manageable loan becomes a burden. Here's a crucial point. Responsible borrowing is key. no matter the lender. If you're considering a loan from CashNetUSA, or any lender for that matter, ask yourself these questions. Can I afford the repayments? Do I understand the terms and conditions, including the interest rates and fees? Have I explored other options, such as borrowing from friends or family, or seeking help from a credit counseling agency? Do I fully understand the potential impact to my credit? It's also vital to read the fine print. Pay attention to the loan agreement, including the repayment schedule, late payment penalties, and any other fees. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If something is unclear, get clarification before signing anything. Let's address the elephant in the room, the desperation factor. Many people turn to these types of lenders when they're in a financial bind and feel they have no other options. This is where the risk of damaging your credit is highest. Desperation can lead to poor decision-making and a disregard for long-term consequences. So, what's the verdict? Will CashNetUSA affect your credit score? The answer is nuanced. It depends on several factors, including whether they perform a hard inquiry, your payment history, and your overall financial situation. If you're considering a loan from CashNetUSA, proceed with caution. Weigh the risks and benefits carefully. Explore all other options before resorting to a high-interest, short-term loan. And most importantly, prioritize responsible borrowing. Here's a quick recap. CashNetUSA offers short-term loans with high interest rates. They may or may not perform a hard credit inquiry. Missed payments can significantly damage your credit score. High interest rates can lead to a cycle of debt. Responsible borrowing is crucial. Always read the fine print. Consider all other options first. Ultimately, the decision is yours. But remember, your credit score is a valuable asset. Protect it. Make informed financial decisions, and don't let desperation lead you down a path of financial ruin. Think of your credit score like a garden. If you nurture it, it will flourish. But if you neglect it or introduce harmful elements, it will wither. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.